Shalom. Giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem and Hawashah Ba'Shem Makakwadash. Shalom to the elect of Israel, of Yasha'Allah. Israel in the Hebrew is Yashur Allah. Compound word. Yah meaning he. As in the name of the Most High, Yahweh. Yah meaning he, and Hawa meaning to be. That's the name of our Lord's beloved Son, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus, or Yeshua, or Jesus, Yeshua, Jesus. You notice there's no J in that name, but in the English is Jesus. J didn't come about until the 1524 by a man by the name of Tresino. I forget the rest of his name, but I go, look up Tresino or the letter J. It will lead you to that man, and he was part of the Renaissance, the rebirth. Jake was ruling, and that's when Esau came back into power, pursuant to Revelation chapter 20. It was released for a little while in a little season, which is about 500 years. This man came into power, started to come into power as we were going down, they were coming up. So it just didn't happen overnight. They had defeated the Moors, the great Moors, which were Israelites, and the so-called Byzantine Empire, Christian Empire, because you had Israelites that ruled. That was the Dark Ages. Dark Ages, to put a time frame, would be from about 500 AD to about 1500 AD, which is 1,000 years. But we started to rule long before that. Around 90 AD, we started to rule. Esau, the Romans, the Edomites that ruled during the Roman Empire, because these are the Romans are the descended from the Edomites. Their rule was a little more than 100 years. You can say, if I'm not mistaken, Julius Caesar came into power, I believe it was 45 BC. But they started to come into power because they took down the Etruscans and the Minoans, which are the sons of Japhet. That's why they wear the togas and the rosemary leaf around their head. If you go in Rome, they got that from the Minoans, which are the sons of Japhet, the Etruscans. Check out Etruscan art, the original art of Europe were the Etruscan people. Then you had Jake that built that up too. You go to the ancient Greek Olympics and you go to vases or athletes, you go to images, you're gonna see, long, tall Jakes, muscular, athletic Jakes running in these different events, because just like today, you see the 100-yard dash, the 400. If you know anything about track, anything that has to do with speed, mostly are Jake. And when you compare the image of these world athletes, these world track athletes, and you go back to the vases of ancient Greece, the Olympics, they're the same people, Jakes. They were Jakes. But the only difference is they were running butt naked. Now what they do is you can see their body because they're wearing, you got the women out there too, which is heathenistic. They're going off, but those are our people. Those people in the original Olympics that dominated were Jakes. that were fully a part of the Hellenization of Jake's allowing himself to be Hellenized, well, against their will as well. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video "The Little Horn That Took Up or Plucked the First Three Horns and the End of the Little Horn." So I'm going to go to Daniel 7. I'm at Daniel 7. I'm going to read I'm not going to read the whole chapter. We should know, this should be easy from the first verse of Daniel 7 on down. You should know this, but I'm going right to the point. And this is how we know the timetable, this is how we know exactly where we are in prophecy. This right here is referring to, let me go up a little bit more, because our focus is on prophecies. So if you understand the scriptures, you understand where we are prophetically in the book of Daniel 7 or the book of Daniel 2. So anyway, I'm going to start from 6. Daniel 7, verse 6. After this, I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. So let me go here to, and I'm going to show you the secular history. I'm going to go into the actual history of the little horn plucking up the first 3 horns. So the first, like a lion with eagle's wings, plucked ladder lifted up from earth, man's heart given. Now they'll tell you, let me see if I can find it. Okay, right here it tells you the Babylonians, which are Assyrians. The king of Babylon was Assyrian, he wasn't Cushite. Then you got the Medo-Persians, which is right here. The 3 ribs in its teeth that raise up on one side, meaning the Persians became mightier than the Medes. The 3 ribs represent Babylon, because they took down Babylon, Syria, and Egypt. Hadn't gone through that in a while. Then you have the 3rd beast, like a leopard, with 4 fowls' wings, had 4 heads, given dominion. And we just read that. 4th beast, exceeding dreadful, terrible beast, iron teeth, brass nails, had 10 horns, a little horn, which plucked 3 horns. This represents the little horn. It had eyes. Right here it says Rome. Let me pull this up. Then they give you this tribulation, 7 years, which shows you that the Christians don't understand prophecies. This 3.5 years and 3.5 years, 7 years already took place. That's Daniel chapter 9, starting from the 24th verse, reading down. I believe the last verse is the 27th verse. That 7-week period already took place. It's not going to be a tribulation period. There is going to be a tribulation period, but Daniel 9 has nothing to do with it. It already took place. Daniel 11 already took place. Daniel 2 has not completely, most of it took place already. If we go back, let me do this again. Do this again. It shows you that Esau knows. Let me find that image again. Bear with me for a minute. What the hell happened to it so quick? Here's another image right here. Babylonian, I can hardly see it. Babylon, Medio Persian, Greece, Rome. They don't know what the rest of this is. But I'm trying to find that first picture. Let me try this one. I'm just looking at these other ones. So this is common knowledge. First kingdom come, Babylon, Medio Persian, Greece. Fourth kingdom come, Rome, but not completely fulfilled. But not completely fulfilled. So what's a completion? This current world that we're living in, 10 rulers, yet to come. Now they're almost 30. 3 fall, Antichrist completely fulfilled. Antichrist. These people don't understand. Okay, let me try to find this image again. What the hell happened? Maybe I clicked one and it led me to another. Let me try this. Okay, that's how I found it. So this is common knowledge. This represents the Roman Empire, but the last image that I showed you, they said there's going to be a fulfillment of it, which is right here. So they got this correct. Common knowledge among people that study the scriptures and scholars, so forth. 10 rulers yet to come. We fall, Antichrist completely fulfilled. And it made a mention of remember the rock from heaven, that Yahweh Shai, that takes the entire statue, this entire system done. And they don't want to tell you what the system is. We know what the system is. They were way off on this. They were way off. They were completely off. So now I'm going to keep reading. Let's go back into this. Daniel 7, verse 7. After this, I saw in night vision, behold, a fourth beast. Now they already told you, all the scholars, go to the commentary, go to the Bible commentary. If not all of them, most of them, 90% of them would tell you that, give you that same list. The Babylonians, Medo-Persian, Greece, and Rome, and they kind of either say they don't know or they'll speak about it. They'll say the Roman Catholic Church, Vatican City, it's NATO, the EU, which consists of America and Canada. It says, after this, I saw in night vision, behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and had great iron teeth. It devoured and broke in pieces and stamped the residue. The nations were that it took over with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. So the first 10 horns go back to the Roman Empire. Germania Major, Germania Minor, Hispaniola, that's 3. France, which is the Gauls, that's 4. Greece is 5. Rome was in power, that's Revelation 17. And Great Britain, the U.S. came out of Great Britain. So the last ruling of those heads, Revelation 17, is Great Britain, and out of that came America. It says, and these scholars know about this. We go through this over and over. We go through prophecy. Daniel 7 verse 8. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn. So this has nothing to do with the ancient pagan Roman Empire. This jumped from let's say 100 AD. It jumps all the way to the beginnings of it. It was when Christopher Columbus came to the Americas. So from about 100 AD, I think I said BC, AD, all the way up to almost 1500. We're talking 1,500 years, 1,500 years. And when they came on the scene, pursuant to Revelation 20, that's about 500 years. You go back to Christopher Columbus, 1492, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. You're talking about more than 500 years. So they're ready to go down. Everything's set. Everything took place according to the Bible. And this goes hand in hand with your secular history. That's why these Christian scholars know it, because you have to know secular history. You have to, our saying is, the GMS is, you have to know the history to understand the mystery. It says, I considered, so any Israelite group saying, well, we don't know if the Lord's going to come 2 years from now or 25 years from now. No, before kingdom goes down, before any rule is destroyed in history, major rule, the Most High sets up prophets to condemn it. So we are those prophets that condemn this place, starting from Abba to the top 3, which all together you had 7, to us. So we are definitely prophets. When you go into into like Jeremiah, you had a lot of the major prophets that knew each other. Some of them were older, some of them were younger. Jeremiah prophesied when he was a boy. He said, I'm a little boy. Most High said, look, I'm going to put the spirit in you, you're going to prophesy. It says, 8th verse, I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn. So this jumps, pretty much 1,500 years in the future, 1,400 years in the future, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up. What does it mean by the first horns? The little horn was never a part of any of these horns. But the 3 horns that were plucked up, Hispaniola, the Gauls, which are the French, and Great Britain. And I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you that in secular history. It says, I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom, which is America, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up. So what did Daniel see? He saw Christopher Columbus coming to America. He saw them going to war against the Indians, and the original colonies came out of Great Britain. So this was a colony of Great Britain. It's just like you had a team of workers that work on the job, and you got the owners living someplace else, in another country maybe, and they say, we're going to take this place over. What is that called? That's called theft. So if you want to get technical, the 13 original colonies were from Britain, and they said, we're going to take the land for ourselves, which by law was theft, even though the British Crown took control of it. But first it was Spain. Spain was the first. Then you had France. Then you had Great Britain, UK. But like I said, scholars don't want to say that, because then they're going to put themselves in. That means that they're telling on themselves, which some of them are telling on themselves. There's some Edomite born againers that teach that this is the Babylon is America. So the little horn is Babylon, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up. And I'm going to show you that it was the British, the Spanish, and the French, up by the roots. When you plant a tree, what makes the tree strong and sturdy is the roots, right? When you chop a tree down, you have to uproot the tree, because the tree will grow back from the roots. So Spain had roots in America. France had roots in America. And the 13 colonies of the UK had roots in America, but they were all plucked up by wars. And why did the US win these wars? Because the Most High was with them. Daniel 7, verse 17, Daniel 4, verse 17. You take it down one and put us up another. And that's why the Romans went down and came back into power, because the Most High put him to sleep and brought him back up again. And behold, in this horn, America, were eyes like the eyes of men, and a mouth speaking great things. Going into outer space, the flight, the flying machine, which is known as a plane today. This came through their vision, because the Most High put it on them. The scripture saying Daniel 12, knowledge shall be increased, which is technology. The word technology is a Greek word meaning teach. Tech, Greek word for teach. So who taught them? The Great Spirit taught them. The web that we use, the smartphones and the laptops and the desktops. This technology that we use, that we hardly even watch TV. Everybody's on the web. That's all. All it says is the Urim and the Torah. That's old technology that the Levites had. That's all that is Urim, that Most High communicated to the Levites through that tech called the Urim and the Torah, which the word Urim and the Torah, Warium, meaning light, and Athumium, which means perfection, light and perfection. When you turn on your PC, you got this perfect, whatever page you go in there, it's perfect. You can see it perfectly. It's lined up perfectly. I mean, you see it right now. Everything's lined up perfectly, and there's a light. You see the light. Any web page you go and you see a light. So everything is perfect. Old technology. This is the technology that the Levites had. Urim and the Thummim. Light and perfection. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things. The inventions. Oh, the car, the whole concept of the you had the horse and buggy that went from a horseless carriage, which became a car. And the Most High put the spirit on Henry Ford to come up with that concept. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if he's a Jake because he hated the small hats. And when he used to sell his cars, he would have a book, in a free book copy of the book called the International Small Hat. You know what I want to say? And he basically cursed them out. And I have the book somewhere. I got to find it. The International Small Hat. And basically in that book, he curses them the hell out. You know why? Because he went for a loan. He had an idea. He went for a loan. I don't know the key people, but I mean, going to the history, you can find it. I go into deep into history when I have to. He needed a loan. They said, we'll give you a loan, but at a tremendously high interest rate. And he said, no, I'm not having it. And he found other ways to push his invention. And he came up with the concept of the assembly line. Because when they started making cars, they would it's okay, we're going to make car number one, you put it together. But then he came up with the concept of assembly line where a car is produced. I don't know. Years ago, I went to one of those plants, and as a kid, went on a field trip, and you see the frame go by. You have one guy, he puts the doors on it and this on it, and then somebody puts the windows. And when the car's almost finished, you got somebody jumps in there and puts the glove compartment in there. Somebody put the steering wheel. Now these things are made by robots, but you had manpower, and he came up with a concept. Well, he came up with a price. This was before when you got paid back in the day. You didn't get there was no this tax and that tax and this fee. If you worked X amount of hours and you got paid $100 a week, guess what? You brought home $100 a week. So now everything is taxed. They taxing the fuck out you, man. And that's why people, raising hell all over the world. Bank runs. The big story in Iran, people are going there with, armed, taking their money out, but taking their money out. So they're honest. They're not even criminals because they're taking their money. How can you steal your own money? But anyway, he said, I'm going to set up a thing called a $5 day. You work a day, you get $5. Now, you know how much $5 was back then? $5 was about $350, $400 a day. If you made $400 a day, you did 8 hours, $400 a day, you work in, let's say you only work 4 days a week, but it's 5 days. Or you made 2,000. You made 2,000 a week, and the money, you can buy a lot with a little money. Back then you had rents. The rent would be maybe $5, $10 a month. They showed you that in the movie, the Godfather 2, with the landlord and how Don Corleone came into power. There was a woman that one of the Italian guys was going to evict her and her family, and she didn't have the money. So Corleone came up and said, "How much is the rent?" It's $5 a month. How he said it, and then he realized, he said, "Oh shit, this is Don Corleone." He said, I might get killed." So I think he gave him like a couple of months in advance, and said, "Don't kick the woman out." He made sure. But I remember him saying, if I'm not mistaken, I remember him saying $5 a month. So it could be even worth more than $5. It says, see, you got to understand money. See, Jake, as far as that, beyond that, Esau doesn't know about money. They didn't understand the game that been pulled on them since 1933. Really, it came back in the gold standard came back, but then it was eliminated in '71 by Nixon, Richard Milhouse Nixon, and that's when there's certain videos on that. They said people started really catching hell. The super rich became even richer, and the working class became even poorer. You know, prior to '71, women didn't have to go out. The '50s, '60s, whatever. Women didn't go out and work. They stayed home with the children. Made the children went to school, and the men went out and worked. Now the woman got to work, the man got to work, and if a woman wants a promotion, she looks good, she got to lay with the boss, and that happens all over the place, man. This is a completely wicked society, and the Most High can't bring this place down soon enough, and He is going to bring this place down. But then you got people out there that say this is the greatest place in the world because they're not based on the scriptures. This is why the Most High is going to kill everybody on this land here called Babylon the Great, biblically. And He's going to kill a lot of you Jakes. A lot of you Jakes got to go. So it says, let me get back into it. So I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, which we know because it started small. Remember, it started as the 13 colonies, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in his horn were eyes like the eyes of men, and a mouth speaking great things. Like I said, these different inventions. A lot of things came out of America. If you was American back after World War II, especially the '50s and even in the '60s, you made great money. You had all kind of benefits, and that all started to go downhill in '70, '71. And so people are beginning to realize, like if you go to James chapter 5, it tells you that the first, I don't know, 10 verses or so, 8 verses, it tells you how they realize this is all about fraud. What does Habakkuk 2 say? Habakkuk says they laden themselves with thick clay. And that word clay is ibatya, which means depth. This is a debt-based society. And I knew exactly what they did when they started giving out free checks and all that. And they were pretty much producing money out of thin air. They're gonna crash the paper dollar. They're gonna make everything digital. Everything, they're gonna know exactly what you buy. And then they're gonna do a thing, but they were talking about it. But you gotta spend your money. If you don't spend your money inside of a month or whatever day it is, you lose it. So they're gonna force you, as soon as you get your money, to spend it. Total control. As Alex Jones said to Aaron Russo. It says, up by the roots, and behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things. And none of these, a few scholars can get it, but most of them, they'll say, oh yeah, that's Rome. Okay, so what is this talking about? They don't know. And then this is the destruction, of course. And it even speaks about us shackling these people up. We know that this is talking about the Most High. We know that the Most High is a so-called black man. Head, the hair of his head, like the pure wool. What people on the earth have pure wool hair? Hair like wool. So-called black people, Negroes. Them Hamites got peasy hair. So this is the next big thing. But before that, everybody's got to be Karagmed, MOTB'd, C-hipped. The books were open, and the books were open, judgment. And the books is open on them right now as we go out there and we prophesy against them. Those are the books being opening on them. And they'll come up, oh, I didn't do it with my foreparents, and I didn't do that. And my father's Cherokee and all this other mess. I beheld them because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake, Babylon the Great. I beheld even till the beast was slain, and this beast is talking about what? The system, NATO and EU, and his body destroyed and given to the burning flame. What's the burning flame? Those missiles and the lasers that come out of them ships. You know me, I like to, my spirit is on going into a lot of prophecies, and we're in that time. We're right. Look, this place either go out, I would say, a year. I don't think it's going to go out in 6 months. A lot of things, more things have to happen because they have to put in place the charagma, and that's got to be there for a while. Because there was confirmed. They had to confirm Justice Roberts for the Supreme Court, and it was Biden when he was young. He was more coherent. His brain was working. He was a lot younger. He said, and this was back in 2004, 2005, and it used to be all over YouTube. I don't think you can find it now because they're getting ready to introduce this technology, which is big in Sweden. There's over 1 million people, they say. Now it's about 1 million people that have it, which is a small number compared to billions of people. And he said, you will rule, mark my words, before your tender is over. Can you put how he said it? Can you put I didn't say microchip. He said device in the head, or I believe he said hand. He said, you will rule on this before your tenure is over. So it's in our lifetime. So that has to happen, as I always say. I don't know what the hell is wrong with IUIC and ISUPK. But that definitely, we're not saying, oh, it might happen. We think, let's wait and see. It's kind of iffy. I don't know. I think so. That's my personal, no. That's going to happen. And when that happens on a worldwide scale, in an oikoumene sense, when that happens, that's when all these other Israelite camps are going to bug the hell out. They're going to all bug the hell out because you're going to be tested pursuant to Revelation 3, verse 10. The whole world's going to be tested in the oikoumene sense. And none of you people, you black conscience people, you don't know that's coming, man. You don't know that this place is going to be destroyed. You don't know that we are the rulers of the new kingdom. We are the gods. You don't know that. We have the truth. That's why all these different groups, the Christians, the Kemetic, they always bring up something about the Hebrews. Say Hebrew this, and can the Bible compare to the book of this and the book of that? You talk about it because in the back of your head, they're saying, what if it's true? We know the shit that you're pushing is fucking bullshit. Doesn't tell you nothing about ask a motherfucker about prophecy. Excuse my French. I'm a little pissed off. Any of these people ask him about prophecy. Ask Vocab Malone about prophecy. He's clueless when it comes to prophecy, man. He's clueless. I started going, the video that I put up when they confronted us, I started going into prophecy, and they all shut the hell up. If you go to the video, I might even bring it up. They all shut up and they listened because we went over their head. We were talking about a subject. If we're talking boxing, I'm talking with a bunch of guys. We're talking boxing. I'm gonna say a lot. I used to box. Um, but then the conversation switches to golf. I'm not going to be saying too much because I'm not into golf. Polo pony, I'm not into that. I ain't going to be saying too much. I'll go to the bathroom or something, or whatever the case may be. Get something to eat. Anyway, let's read on. 10th verse, a fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him, the angels. The judgment was set, and the books were opened. I beheld then, because of the voice of the great words which the horn speaketh, that's Babylon the Great. And who pulls the strings? The strings are pulled by London, the elite, the financial elite in London. I beheld even till the beast was slain and his body destroyed. And I ain't talking about Europe. Europe will be jacked up, but it's going to be built back up. People will be living in different parts of Europe. But Babylon will not be lived in and given to the burning flame. And I don't know what's going to happen day to day with this Russia-Ukraine thing, but I believe because they could take it over and everything goes back to peace. Everything goes back to peaceful times. You know, because when you win a war, you know, you tell the people what you're going to do to them. Okay, you got to pay a tax. You're under us. You got to change your flag. So we don't know if Russia's going to totally take it, but the scriptures in Jeremiah 50 or 55 speak about assembly of great nations. The Ukraine was formerly part of the USSR. But ultimately, if the smoke clears, Russia is battle ready. They're battle tested. They're built for battle, for war. So ultimately, we don't know how it's going to happen, but something's going to happen where they're going to declare war against the U.S. And there's rumors right now whether the U.S. is going to send in troops. U.S. troops are already over there, but they're not under any U.S. command. But something's going to happen, and it's all about resources. Anytime you attack a nation, it's all about resources or manpower or land. Something's going to happen. The U.S. is going to do something to cause all their allies, European allies, to come against them and also shoot fire upon them. As concerning the rest of the beasts, the other nations, Babylonians, Medo-Persians, Greeks, which are Edomites, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and a time. They're not going to be utterly destroyed because they're going to be our servants. The Son of Man presented. I saw in the night vision, and behold, one like unto the Son of Man came with the clouds. The clouds represent what? Green gold. That's a whole nother subject. What happened when the Lord was taken up? Yahweh HaMashiach was taken up in Acts, the first chapter. He was taken up beamed up into a cloud, which is a ship. The apostles were looking at him, gazing up into heaven. The two men in white, which are angels, which came down in the form and likeness of men, but they were angels. How do we know that? Because how did they know how he's going to come back? Because these were angels. He said, why stand ye gaze up into heaven? The same way your Lord left, he's going to come back. He's coming back in ships. So here it is right here. So Daniel saw the same thing. I saw in the night vision, and behold, one like unto the Son of Man, Yahweh HaMashiach, came with the clouds of heaven, with the angels, and came to the Ancient of Days, the Father, and they brought him near before him, and there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom. Who was it given to? It was given to our Lord. What does it say in Romans 8? We are joint heirs. So whatever the Lord gets, we're going to get. The works that I do, you shall do, and greater. And a kingdom that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, everlasting kingdom, and his kingdom, and this is the continuation of Solomon's kingdom, that which shall not be destroyed. Let's read a couple more verses, and I'm going to go into this list of wars, American wars. I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body, and the vision of my head troubled me, because he's, you know, you go to the movie, like you see an HD movie or you see a surround sound movie. Well, the movie that he saw was a hologram, so he was in the movie. So if, like, when you put in the those goggles, you ever put on those goggles, whatever you call it, which is a metaverse. I remember my demon had the goggles, and she said, "Put this on." It was like a Jurassic Park, and I put this shit on, and I had to jump back, and I turned to the right, and you can see whatever happens in the right. Turn to the left, turn behind you, you can see right behind you, and you heard stuff behind you. So that's like a hologram, right? So that's what Daniel saw. He was in the middle of that vision that he saw. He was in the middle of it. He wasn't sitting down looking at a screen. He was in the middle of it. It was a hologram. The same thing with John on the Isle of Patmos. That's why he got sick. He probably certain smells he smelled. He heard certain sounds. It says, and it said that he got sick. It said, I came near. Remember, let's go back to the Matrix. Remember when Neo was getting opened up? His mind was getting opened up by Morpheus. He said, he said, what did he say? Open your eyes to the real world, whatever he said, and he threw up. He said, I can't deal with it. I can't deal with it. Well, guess what? What did he show? A nuclear blast of a city. So he got sick and he threw up. Same thing with Daniel. It overwhelmed Daniel. Like I said, he was in the vision. He was in the vision. I came near unto one of them that stood by and asked him the truth of all this. So he told me and made me know the interpretation of the things. And he still, even when the angel broke it down to interpreted it to Daniel, you still didn't understand. We understand it perfectly. These great beasts, which are four kings, which shall rise out of the earth. And by the way, Daniel was living during that time period, the Babylonian Empire. But the saints of the Most High shall take the saints. Who are the saints? The Israelites. Vocab Malone. The Israelites are the saints. The saints are the Israelites. But the saints of the Most High, the Israelites, shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and forever. Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast. There was two parts of the fourth beast, the Roman Empire and this system today, which was diverse from all the others, exceedingly dreadful, with iron teeth. Teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, break in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet. The violent shall take it by force. The kingdom of heaven shall suffer violence, and the violent shall take it by force. Let me see, 20 verse. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the others which came up, and before whom there fell, three fell, right? First 3 horns plucked up by the roots, 3 fell. Even of that horn that had eyes, Babylon the Great, America, and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellow. These Europeans don't like Babylonian Edomites any damn way. Because it's like their attitude is like, we're better than you. I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints. Right, America. it start going back to the very beginning. Christopher Columbus, the first thing he did, if you don't accept our Christ, we're going to kill you. And he killed a lot of them. And then the ones that complied, they sent them, he put them into slavery. Ain't that something? You accept Christianity, and the prize is you go into slavery. Vocab Malone, ain't that something? And prevail against them. Right. During the time of Christopher Columbus, during the time of the Spaniards, the conquistadors, during the time of the British coming in. The first Edomite kingdom to take over America was Spain. Cristobal Colon was a crypto Jew. He was a Jew. He was a so-called small hat that secretly he was a small hat, but he openly, bowed to the queen and the crown because he didn't want to get killed. And that's how them small hats roll until the Ancient of Days came and judgment was given to the saints. That's the kingdom. Saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and forever of the Most High. And the time came that the saints possess the kingdom. That's the kingdom is the nation, the kingdom on earth, the heaven the heaven on earth. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms and shall devour the whole earth. Did the Roman Empire devour the whole earth? Let me look that up. The Roman Empire did not devour the whole earth. And break in pieces, shall thread. Okay, this is what I want, the whole earth. The word is kal, which means all. All, kal. Like we'll say all praises, kal halalium, all praises. Whole, the whole of, all, every, any, none. Let's look at some of the precepts. All, see the word all. Destroy all. So the ancient pagan Roman Empire did not have the whole earth. When the ancient pagan Roman Empire was in power, you had the Northern Kingdom. They were already on the other side of the earth. They've been over there for over almost 1,000 years. 700 some odd years. Whole earth. Let's look up the word earth. Arataza. Arataza. Earth, world, ground. Let me try. Let me go right here. Daniel 2, verse 31. And after thee shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee, and another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth. They didn't bear rule over all the earth. That was the Greeks. So let's come on back. Okay, devour the whole earth. It didn't devour the whole earth. I can't say that enough. And shall tread it down and break it in pieces, meaning set up provinces. Palestine was a province of the Roman Empire. Fulfillment of prophecy. 24 verse. And the 10 horns out of the kingdom are 10 kings that shall men, which shall arise, and another shall arise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue three kings. Pluck them up by the roots. He shall subdue three kings. So what is this talking about? It says the 10 horns out of the kingdom are 10 kings which shall arise, and another shall arise, which is the little horn, and it shall subdue three kings. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall what? Wear out the saints of the Most High. Slavery, warring against us all throughout the western side of the world, the fourth part of the earth of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. That's what they did. You can be a mole, but there's no Sabbath. I mean, that's a topic right there. And shall think to change times and laws. You can be born a boy and decide you want to be a girl or a woman. You can be born a girl and decide to be a man. So now you can be part robot. And they shall be given into his hands until the time and divide the times. But I'm not going to go into that as a whole nother lesson. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it unto the end. And the kingdom and dominion and greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints. There we go again, the Israelites of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom. And all dominion shall serve and obey him. Obey who? The Israelites, starting with Yahushua. This right here tells you that he got sick. Hereunto is the end of the matter. As for me, Daniel, my cogitations much trouble me, and my countenance changed in me, but I kept the matter in my heart. So now we're going to end it with this. I'll be real quick about it. I did what I put in list of wars involving the United States. I'm going to go right to the point. And you should read this. I read this, the whole list, but I focused on three of the first horn plucked up, right? Conflict, right? 1775 to 1783, United States and its allies. France was one of the allies. What is this? Canadian Auxiliary. That's France. Canadian Auxiliary. The Spanish Empire, also known as Hispanic Monarchy. Iroquois. So you had Gadites fighting on the side of America. Dutch Republic. United States and Choctaw. I'm sorry, that's a different war. But then you had so this is one of the horns that were plucked up, which is known as American Revolutionary War, the war between Great Britain and Germany was on the side of Great Britain. Remember, the royalty came out of the Saxe Goldberg. What was the name of Gold Saxe Goldberg, I believe it's pronounced. Somebody please correct me. Which is a German line. The British royalty that you see now are actually Germans, but the Germans were allied to Great Britain. Great Britain, Germany, auxiliary, Iroquois, Gad, Onondaga, Gad, all these are Cherokee, Gad. U.S. Allied victory, results of the United States and its allies. Treaty of Paris. Britain recognized the independence of the United States of America and the 13 colonies. Then it expanded. So we know the first war, the first victory was Great Britain. These are the various wars, and a lot of these wars that they fought against Gad defeated them. Okay, what is this? Okay, this is also the French American War. United States versus the French Republic. Okay, this is the Ottomans fighting against the US. You had United States, Sweden, Kingdom of Sicily, Malta, Protectorate, Kingdom of Portugal, Sultan of Morocco. That was like a mini world war. This war, the War 1812, was a war that was declared by the Rothschilds. They backing up Great Britain. And Canada was on the side fighting against, because they were fighting. And this is Revelation chapter 6. The red horse, and they killed one another. Trying to get to the Spanish-American War among the Seminoles. Who is the one with the Spain? I just had it. Mexican-American War. Where the hell is it? Let me do this. Okay. Do it this way. Okay, here it is. Way down here. And this is almost in the turn of the century. Spanish-American War, United States, Cuban revolutionaries, Filipino revolutionaries, Spain, Cuba, Guam, Philippines, and Puerto Rico. So they had to take, the US had to take Cuba, Guam, Philippines, and Puerto Rico. So those are your three horns plucked up by the root. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.